Hello, welcome back to the Cubs fan fantasy simulation show. Something like that. The Cubs are 4-0. Full disclosure, I didn't save last time, so I had to sim the last game again until they won to keep it the way it was, but it's not going to look the same for the statistics, but who cares? No one's paying that much attention. But we go there. Cubs are 4-0. Can they make it 5? Let's find out. So, view today's games. I'll probably talk to somebody here in a little bit. Talk to Peter Basil about the Merrimack and the Monitor. So we're going to talk about baseball. We're going to talk about Civil War history and our British-style live studio audience comedy that we're going to have. Let's check out the Cubs today. Tyler Chatwood is. Should we give it to Tyler Chatwood? I do like Jarrell Cotton. I was considering giving him, or let's give Chatwood. Chatwood was doing good enough in spring training. We should give him a chance. We are gonna tweak the lineup once again. Where, yeah. Who's the right-handed pitcher? All right. That's right. Sorry. Trying to figure out who I want to. Ooh, we're not going to start Jason. Oh, we're going to put Nico Horner in, which I've been doing quite often. But it looks like he didn't get... Oof, God, Wilson played again. You know, I started Victor Caratini last game. But apparently when I simmed it back, they kept Wilson going. I'm going to give Victor the start. Victor's a very good catcher. I was okay if they could have got a lot in return for trading Wilson Contreras. I would have been okay with it. I know that sounds crazy, especially because he's not making very much money. That's the biggest reason not to trade him, aside from the fact that he has very high upside offensively and he's got a very strong arm, is that he's not making very much money. But Victor Caratini is he's a good defensive catcher. He's got a good framing. He's got I think he's got 20 plus power potential. I think he won the whatever, like the Silver Slug in the AAA. He hit like 3 something and won best hitting catcher or best hitter one year. I know it was AAA, but still. And everything I say is like kind of true, but you need to look up exactly how true about it is. Like I said, he's a and also they've got 1 or 2 catchers in the minors that are almost ready. So I would say if you can get a lot for them, do it. Other than that, let's go into the game, shall we? I was just making sure I'm recording. I am recording. By the way, I have not washed the Cubs shirt yet. So, and also I'm progressively getting more and more unkempt as the series goes on. If we keep doing it, maybe I'll just grow out the beard and just things get wild, and I'll just be like, The show 2020 Game 5, Cubs vs. Pirates. Get loud! Go ahead, yell at home. Get loud, get loud, get loud. Boop, boop, boop. Here comes Tyler Chatwood to the mound. He doesn't do the step over the line. He's not a superstitious man, apparently, and doesn't have OCD. But he does have a nice beard. Tyler Chatwood. Last year, pretty good stats. Oh, they're pretty good. Certainly better than the year before, where he lost his job as the starter last year. I think if he didn't, he should have. And then he was kind of a swing man last year, where he came out of the bullpen a lot, and he maybe got a couple of starts. His control was an issue. He's had a lot of walks, and I think once he gets that under control, he could be all right. Oh, shit. Sorry, I gotta change it so that it's the computer playing for both teams. Here we go. Game 5, but game 2 against the Pirates. Knocks it down the line. I don't know. Kevin Newman. Hello, Newman. Do you guys remember old TV shows? Okay.
First pitch, 640.
I could have also went, Kevin, if you go even farther back. Oh, lays the bunt down the line, but foul, as long as he gets to it, and he does in time. Wait, did Chatwood just recover it and then throw it to himself? I'm very confused. He shakes off the first sign. Ooh, Brixley's going inside. It's a good pitch. It's a good waste pitch. 98, throwing some heat. Cubs 4-0 this season, like I said. Although, like I said, I forgot to save it after they won last time, so I had to redo the fourth one. Okay, that's not a good pitch. But now you wasted a couple because you had him 0-2. Now you maybe go inside corner here. And that's fine. Fly out. 1 out. I'll take that all day long. I'll take 5, 30. So yeah, that's fine. I'll take 15 pitches every inning. 30, 6. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to take him out eventually, but if ooh, nice on the outside corner. Frazier versus Chatwood, 3 for 6 with 2 doubles. Those numbers don't bode well for Chatwood, but at the same time, you could say, well, he's due. He's due to not have the batter bat 500 against him. That pitch almost should have been called more of a strike than the last one, but even robots make mistakes sometimes. Yeah, ooh. It's going low, it looks like. Almost hit the exact same spot as the last pitch, but somehow that was a strike. I mean, it might have been a little more on the plate, apparently. Two and 2. Chatwood's saying, all right. Deja vu all over again. 2 and 2. That's a Yogi Bear-ism. Or Yogi Berra-ism. I said Yogi Bear. I'm losing my mind. Yogi Bear and out 3-2. All right. Like I said, he's had some control issues in the past. How he decides to do this could really set the tone for the rest of his start today. Oof. Ooh. Ripped, but right at Anthony Rizzo. Just a real hard out. A real hard out. Up next, Brian Reynolds. Batting .267 with 1 home run and 1 RBI. Assuming that's for this year and not cumulatively last year. He puts a charge into that one, and it's going to be at least 2. Yep, a double. He made very good contact there. I mean, it just kind of hung right over the plate. That's all right. Stand-up double. It's okay. There's 2. If there's any time to give up a double, it's when no one's on base with 2 outs. If you want to choose when to give up a double. Not that it's ever great to do so. All right, ball 1. This is Josh Bell, I believe. Like I said last game, Josh Bell had a heck of a first half the season last year. Hit like 27 or so home runs in the first half, and then quickly fell off the grid. Baez taking his time. Woof. Rizzo picking up the sloppy throw. Sloppy throw, and here goes the show. You know? Bo Jackson. Okay. Here we go into the bottom of the first inning. Mitch Keller. Last year, his ERA was terrible. he's a lot of, I mean, look at the numbers, but a lot of people are really high on him this year. They did fire most of the pitching staff of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has shown that when they trade their really good pitching prospects that haven't been able to put together, for some reason have been doing well with other teams. So they said, you know what? Maybe we need to rehaul the way we think about pitching. So a lot of people think that Mitch Keller, despite his atrocious numbers, has some really good ceiling to him. So we'll see how he goes into this year. Oh, he tries to barehand it. Can't get it. Bryant's on. They call it a base hit. I'll take it. I mean, I'm glad for his average, but... Oh, Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo, the Gold Glove winner of 2019. I forgot about that. Good job, Anthony. Anthony is a stable, very stable first baseman. You're always going to get somewhere around 30 home runs, around a 380 on base percentage, great defense. He's about as stable as they come. He's hitting or getting. He does have some back issues, which now that he's hitting 30, should be interesting to see if that starts to take some starts and at bats away. But thankfully, he's at first, where where hopefully you can minimize injuries as far as being in the field. I'd say first base is the least likely to get injured, at least from moving around. Anthony takes 1 or 2. He's going to choke up. I don't know how accurate they make the game, but Rizzo often, when there's 2 strikes, he's one of the best examples of changing his approach when he gets to 2 strikes. He changes very much from power to contact. It's a very nicely done. Just makes very solid contact right up the middle. But he's a great example of trying to hit the ball super hard when there's less than 2 strikes. But once there are 2 strikes, chokes up a little, becomes more of a complete hitter where he's just trying to put the ball in play. He does a very good job of putting the ball in play there. And now Schwarber is up with 2 men on and 0 out. Ooh. Not a bad take, I guess, but it's right there. Not necessarily right down the middle. Maybe he was looking for something a little more inside. I don't know. Something we could pull more, I guess. Good eye there. Schwarber, I feel like, and I could be completely wrong, this is just me saying what I think, is he almost has too good of an eye, where I feel like he gets struck out a lot on stuff that's just outside of the zone, but still gets called a strike. So it's one of those weird ironies where his eye is so good that it's better than the umpires sometimes, I feel. And he often doesn't... Oh, boy! Was I going to say... Oh, okay. I thought the angle was a home run angle, but it was just a long foul ball. Strike 3. Oh, my goodness. It's okay, Schwarber. You almost hit a home run. He swung right through that one. He wanted that one, too. Man, that was right there. Who is batting cleanup? I forget. Is it Ian Happ? I think it's probably Ian Happ. Gosh, did I really put Ian Happ as the cleanup hitter again? I don't know why I've been doing that, but... I mean, Happ's he's a switch hitter. He's got some power. I'm pretty sure from the left side is where more of his power comes from. He's a very, he's a very versatile player, both that he's a switch hitter and both that he can play most of the outfield and also a lot of the infield. He can play second, he can play third, he's playing center today, I believe, and he can play the corners as well. He can also play sitting on the bench after striking out, because that's just what happened right there and there. Sorry, I'm looking to see if Peter, our guest, For the show, I'm texting him. I forgot to send him a link to where to go, so the camera will still be on me, and I'm going to be sending him a link to where he can watch the game streaming, because it does live stream before. Oh, that's cool. That's neato. Interesting to see what kind of delay it is. The thing live makes it more. It's about a delay from my computer. Oh no, I need to turn off that stream.
Colin Moran.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even see what happened. Did the Cubs not score? Oh darn. Moran versus Chatwood, 2 for 6. It's also pretty good. I feel like the Pirates haven't had many at-bats against Chatwood, but most of them seem to do okay so far. I mean, not this game, but... Sorry, Mr. Nikita. Oh, Colin Moran is out. My friend Trent is sending me nice things that Taylor Swift is doing during this crisis, which is fun. Which is nice that I've heard some nice that she's, you know, it's nice that people with $1 bajillion are doing. No, and I genuinely mean that. It's nice that they're now's the time to prove if you care about anyone that's not yourself. If you have a huge amount of money. Oh boy, that's gonna be 2, if not 3. When's it get stuck in the? Is it 3? I can't see. It's not show. Okay, it's just 2. Usually it shows me better where the runner is, but luckily Gold Glove recipient, but not last year, I don't think, Jason Hayward was able to get to it quickly enough. Right field in Wrigley is probably the hardest right field to play in the game. It's really crowded. Once the wall, there's literally... What the fuck are you doing, Caratini? Anyway. It's, yeah, once you get to the wall in right field, there's, literally, almost no space whatsoever between the foul line and the wall. So there's no foul territory to work with. And then also the wall going to the where the ivy is a brick wall. So it's hard to navigate. It's pretty dangerous, actually. I don't know how the sun affects it and if it gets hard, if shadows are weird there. But it's just hard to play right field. And right field's important, you know. You gotta know how to catch. You gotta know how to throw. And that's where I play. That's why I play right field. Out where the dandelions grow. Do you remember that song? Do you remember? Did you guys all have the VHS copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first film, where they had the Pizza Hut commercial on the VHS, where they had a game where there's the kid just messing around in right field, and then they hit a fly ball out to him, and he's just and he catches it, and then they have fun at Pizza Hut because the person who probably wasn't very good at baseball caught the ball. I'm getting nostalgic for Pizza Hut, so. 1990s Pizza Hut. Bigfoot. You guys want to get some anybody got some Bigfoots? You guys wanna go get some Bigfoots? Do you got big? Is it big feet or is it? I mean, big feet, Bigfoots. I don't know what would be the. Oh, and a run is scored, and Kyle Schwarber is chugging along. Oh God, let's hope he doesn't get to third. Okay, he's on second. Like I said, I'm not being shown where the runner is. Sometimes I thought it like I could have sworn it gave me a sort of a counter to tell us what was going on, but doubles in the opposite corners have been killing Chatwood so far. Surprisingly, usually it's his control that's the issues and not fucking people hitting doubles everywhere. And okay, that's foul. That looked right when he was swinging at it. I was like, that's gonna be a home run. But it's the pitcher. That's why it didn't turn out well. I play right field. Gosh, I hope that's not copyrighted. I don't think it's copywritten. Sorry, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Instagram too. Hey, all you. Sorry, I've been watching. This is gonna be dated, so well, I mean, it should be since it's supposed to be playing. Okay, strike 3 to the pitcher. But I just watched all of Tiger King recently. So I was going to start off with a, hey, all you cats and kittens. It's very of the moment. It's like Forrest Gump. People are going to look back on this later and be like, what is he talking? What's that mean? Victor Caratini. I said it like it's like he's Italian. He's not Italian. But Caratini does sound very Italian. Caratini. Victor Caratini. It's okay. My mom's been named Gincola, so I can say Italian words overly Italian-y. Oh, Victor Caratini no swing at the pitch, huh? He waited for a pitch you like, huh? That might happen. Oh my goodness! It's back! It's deep! It's gone! Victor Caratini, solo home run, first of the year. Gosh, whoever put him into the game and said he was a good hitter and deserves more praise as a manager, or as a player, whoever the manager was who did that, wink wink, is probably smart. Victor Caratini, home run. He's fresh off the bench. First start of the year. First bat of the year, I think, maybe. Well, he probably pinch hits at some point, maybe. Exit velocity, 103 miles per hour, 103.9. Let's just call it 104. I think it's at 397 for distance. Nicely done, Victor Caratini. If I had a hat, I'd tip it to you. Here goes Jason Hayward. Let's see if Peter... Yeah, I think Peter's down to be on the show. I'm excited to talk to Peter. Peter's a comedian and my friend, and we're not writing partners, but we've talked about being writing partners, which if you know writers, that almost counts as being writing partners, because writers often don't get writing done. A lot of writing is not writing, it's talking about what you want to write about. Writers that get things done would probably disagree with that, but fuck you. Oh my gosh, Jason Hayward hits it right. He made great contact. You can't really get mad at a player for getting good contact. Sometimes you just hit it in the wrong places, you know? A lot of luck plays into baseball has a decent amount of luck involved. All right. I believe Tyler Chatwood is up now. Is it Tyler Chatwood up? Maybe? It looks like it is. He's got a stance like a pitcher, which is not a good... Well, I guess that's an okay batting stance. He just doesn't look confident. And he doesn't look competent either when he swings at something like that. I'm almost 100% sure now that's a pitcher. But how did we get there on the set? I guess we got more base runners. Oh yeah, the first two hitters got on base last time. I forgot about that. And then his home runs. So yeah, that makes sense. This is a ninth batter. It's okay. That's all right, Tyler. You just concentrate on pitching. The game is basically. Oh, it was Horner. It's Nico. It's the other guy I put in. Now it's the pitcher I was up. Now I look like a fool. Okay, yeah. He's probably gonna strike out too. There it is. There it is. Oh. Just messaging Peter. He's asking what he needs to know for this, and I was like, nothing. Oh, did the pitcher strike out? Yep. Look at the Cubs bros go. Man, as a Cubs fan, I sure am annoyed with about half of Cubs fans. That's fair, right? When you have a big franchise, it's gonna be when you have a large fan base, the bad parts of the fan base are gonna seem more prevalent, right? Not that they were bad, but it's fine. They're fine. I don't know why I'm getting sassy. Cubs are 4-0 right now, and it's a tied game, so that's great. Whew. I am drinking again this time. Ooh, strike 3, but it gets... I missed where it went. But he got him out. He got to the pitch there. I'd like to see a 4-strikeout inning sometime, because if he would have got to first, I think that still does technically count as a strikeout, even if they don't get the out. So there have been at least 4 strikeout innings before, even though you can only get 3 outs. Okay, Schwarber's under it. That's good. It's a quick inning so far. Chatwood could use one of those because he's about to throw his 37th pitch in the third inning, so it could really be good to try and get out of this here unscathed. Sorry, I just matched with someone on Tinder who's probably too good looking for me, or else wants a sugar daddy and doesn't know that I don't have any money. So, and then also they're just like, because I don't look at descriptions often or like bios, but this one just says daddy, and I'm just like, all right. I'm like, yes, I'm old-ish, but I don't have money. Hopefully you just mean old and not stable financially when you ask for daddy. Up next, Bryant, Rizzo, Schwarber. What I would call the heart of the order, because it is. I think those are probably the 3 people on the team that I would choose to have up if I wanted a home run. Of any of the 3, it would be those 3. And on-base percentage, like Rizzo and Bryant, I assume, would easily have the highest on-base percentages of anyone on the team. Probably by a solid 20, 30 points. Because their on-base percentages are always usually around 370 to 400. Around there. Which is, like I said, better than most. And that's great. Anything for on-base percentage... Anything above 335 is like okay. Anything above 350, getting pretty good. Anything close to 400 is fantastic. Anything over 400 is amazing. Probably a handful of people that get above 400. That's going to be caught, probably, yes. For 400 for on-base percentage, I mean, for most people that'd be well, Although I almost feel like that's not a career year because I feel like if you do that 1 year, your plate discipline's good enough where you're probably going to do it multiple years. It's crazy when Barry Bonds was in his heyday. He had 1 or 2 seasons where his on-base percentage was over 600, I think. That's another one you need to look up. But it's just because they intentionally walked him so much. That's the other thing that's crazy about how many home runs. And don't get me wrong, whatever, steroids, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. But regardless of that, he was still hitting that amount of home runs when they were intentionally walking him like half the time. So, like, think about how many more home runs he would have had if they weren't intentionally walking him half the time. Oof. And Schwarber is hit it in the... I mean, it's weird sometimes how they do that. Let's call Peter. Because we're going to the 4th inning. I'll take my I'll push my, do I have them under pizza bagels? I could have sworn that. Oh boy. Hold on, sorry.
1-1.
I can't believe I don't have my phone. I thought I had it on my phone.
I got 2-1 to count.
I often call them pizza bagels, so I'm looking at. Oh, pizza bagels isn't showing on that finger.
Now that
Bakes.
the third
Let's just
base
call this first one.
Moran.
It's not answering.
The right fielder.
Hello?
Pizza bagels! How are you doing?
What's going on?
Nothing. Hey, do you want to call me back on my... Like, for some reason I couldn't find your phone number in my phone. Do you want to call me back on regular phone, or is this okay?
This is fine.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen...
As long as you can record it good enough.
Yeah, I think so. I was originally concerned that the audio wouldn't be loud enough, but it looks like it's similar to a phone call, so I think we're good.
Yeah, okay.
How are you doing? And I also like Facebook's ring is funny is more interesting than a regular phone ring, I think.
Oh, yeah, well, I think Facebook has spent a lot of time and a lot of money making sure that they're the cutting edge in phone call.
Yeah, I think
That's
old
the next
Zucks
step.
was like, what's aesthetically pleasing for a ring?
He
You know
was
what's
like,
funny?
What's
You know
the
what's
next place we can take this business?
Yeah, you know what's
Phone
funny
call.
though is that's like I said that as a joke, but when I'm thinking about it, like I'm sure that's like I'm sure hundreds of man hours went into deciding how that would sound, the ringing noise.
Well, they own WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Oh, is that the same? Does WhatsApp make that sound too? I didn't even realize.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't know, but
But
my
anyway,
guess is they just stole it.
yeah, like Instagram from Facebook. I'm always
Yeah.
like, what? Or like when I don't like it when like when Netflix calls Arrested Development a Netflix original, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like, it wasn't mostly
They paid
on
for
Netflix.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. But well, because I remember they were like a semi-original, but it's like, no, it's a continuation. Like,
Yeah, only the 2 new seasons count, I guess.
sure, but that doesn't mean it's original. Like, I don't know. But how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, staying safe from this 5G rollout.
Yeah.
They got the 5G network starting.
Yeah.
and it's melting everybody's insides. And
Yeah.
they're calling it a virus.
Yeah. You know what's nuts?
And since my house is it's a Faraday cage, I'm safe.
That's good.
Safe from the radiation from
Yeah.
the phone lines.
Yeah. Well, that's very good. They oh God. Everything you just said was so crazy that my brain can't even come up with thoughts now.
Well, you know that all of this is just to keep us inside while Donald Trump arrests all the pedophiles.
Yeah, this is
And he's gonna bring back a new America.
this is one of the last
This
steps
is
of
go time for QAnon.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
this is one of the final steps,
3
right?
months from now, we're gonna be zooming around in flying saucers, and there's not gonna be any more pedophiles. It's gonna be utopia.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Oh man.
And Hillary Clinton's gonna be in a cage in the streets.
Yeah, yeah. Where they just parade her around. She does like a tour, like a book tour, but it's in a cage. The I locked her up tour.
She's locked up.
She's locked up.
She's locked up.
This is what
She's
what we
locked up.
asked for.
Yeah, and he's like, I did it. I did my campaign promise.
That would be funny if his like part of his re-election is he like, I said I was gonna lock her up. I did it.
She has to read all of her emails out loud,
You know,
including the ones where she wants a hot dog.
yeah.
No bun.
That's something I would actually agree to. Like that's something I think she should have to do. Is read all of her emails aloud.
Is explain why she's eating a hot dog.
Yeah,
with
no bun. No bun. Because yeah.
That's what she wanted. It's in the emails.
Yeah. Yeah. No, whenever anyone brushes off the emails, I'm always like, they are weird though. Same thing with the DNC emails where I'm just like, no, this showed that this... Oh God, we're getting all political during this baseball show.
I've often had $35,000 worth of pizza flown into me from another city.
Hey man, when you find your place where you really like pizza from, you know?
Yeah.
You,
I gotta fly in $35,000 worth of deep dish.
was that really a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, that's why people thought they were weird at first.
Yeah.
And that's because it said things like, we're gonna be flying in $50,000 worth of cheese pizza this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Why? That's weird.
Wouldn't you think you would choose codes? Children. Wouldn't you think that you would choose a different words for the amount of money? like, if you're gonna use code words, maybe use.
You'd be like, I'm flying in 5 pies.
Yeah. Yes. Have a code word for money valuations, because those are gonna stand out later. I mean.
Oh, it'll be fine. No one's ever gonna hack that server.
Yeah.
It's a secure Bill Clinton server in his house. No one's ever gonna hack it. It's fine.
I mean.
Oh wait, that happens.
Yeah. Pride cometh before the fall, right? That's like, or arrogance, where it's like, I feel like very powerful people feel like they are either smarter and or so powerful that they often just do whatever, and then.
I mean, have you watched her like documentary on Hulu?
No.
It's all her being like, well, I wasn't elected because I just care so much, and I'm so good at everything I do. I'm so talented at politics.
I mean, I'm glad to know
like,
that.
If you're so talented, why aren't you president?
Yeah, why aren't you president against someone that it should have been really easy to be president against? Like, yeah, it's just, ooh, whoever is up to bat just hit one down the line. Oh, they're going for 2. That's a stupid second out or third out. That's a stupid base running.
Now, I for one am glad that we're doing virtual baseball this year.
Yeah, the Cubs are 4-0 right now.
Are we not acknowledging that they're virtual now?
No, it's fine. I try and I do it.
Okay.
I do it often. I try to do it not so much, but I'll do it once every 3 or 4 innings.
Assume they're all at home on Zoom, hooked up to like a VR thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they're playing it.
That would be
Right?
interesting.
They're playing the game at home.
Yeah, you know, some of the I
They
think
should do that.
it's funny you say that because there are people doing things similar to what I'm doing, but they're also doing things where like the MLB The Show is having like legit really good like all-star baseball players like make their own dream teams online and playing other all-star baseball players and like playing games against each other, which is kind of ingenious of them to do because
I mean, if this was my dream team, it would literally be 9 pirates.
yeah, like actual pirates,
9 of my favorite pirates.
like Pittsburgh Pirates or like
versus
Blackbeard
9
and Captain.
Not full.
Oh, that pitch is out.
Yeah, it'd be them versus 9 not fully mature bears.
Yeah, like adolescent bears.
3-1.
Like bears that just learned how to
Bears
catch.
versus pirates.
Yeah, bears that just learned how to catch salmon out of the river on their own for the first time.
Yeah, like they can go away from their mom a little bit, but they're still a little scared.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah, I told you.
And then, you know,
It's funny you asked. You're like, what do I need to?
Pirates win, then they.
The fact that you were like, what do I need to know before I come on here? And I'm like, absolutely nothing. Like it doesn't matter at all. We can talk about whatever. Gerald and I didn't notice the end of the game happened. And then I was like, whoops, well, there's the end. Like I noticed them walking off the field and I was like, well, there's the end of the game. Don't know what happened, but the Cubs win.
I will say this audience looks way more interested in this game than most
Than
baseball
real audiences. That's just video game animator magic, baby. Keep in mind, it is the second game of the... Bear hands it to... Nicely done. Baez flipped it to Horner. Horner bear hands it and throws it to Anthony Rizzo for the double play. Sorry, I needed to do some commentary when I can.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's-
no.
yeah.
It is the second game of the home opener. So it's the home opening series in Chicago right now. So they're pumped because it's only the second game in Chicago at Wrigley this year.
If this goes on, do you think that you're gonna be calling games where people where there's empty seats?
Because that's a good question. And do the from Les Mis, the empty chairs, empty tables type thing.
Or just like regular baseball, where like there's empty seats.
At Wrigley, there's not though. Wrigley usually has, regardless, and throughout the years, regardless of how good the team is, Wrigley always has had good attendance. But we're on the converse of that, the Tampa Bay Rays, when they were having games clinching the playoffs or winning the division, and their stadium would be half empty. And there was one or two times where Evan Longoria was like, "Hey guys," he was kind of don't get me wrong, I love the fans that are there, but he was kind of fuck this town for not we have a good baseball team and we're going to the playoffs and we can't get people to come to this nice indoor stadium. I don't know.
I mean, I get it. Tampa probably has a lot going on. It's probably probably on any given day, it's do I want to go to this baseball game? Do I want to go to the Gator Farm?
Yeah.
Do I want to steal a four-wheeler? Do I want to sell some meth?
As a religious person, you'll find this interesting, Peter, is I don't know if they won the World Series, but they used to be the Devil Rays. And then the year they became just the Rays, they at least went to the playoffs. And I think some people were like, it's because they got rid of the devil. Because they're just the Rays.
Any animal that has devil in its name wasn't created by God. We know this.
Yeah?
That's why it's called the Devil Ray. Because it wasn't created by God.
Really? So did God let the devil... Was that part of the deal? Was the devil got to... And it's because it's in the ocean, so it's closer to the... It's down low?
Yeah, because most people don't know this, but The devil is actually the king of the city from the abyss.
Okay, that's
right?
fair.
Like that movie is a realistic depiction of if you go down to the bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
you can meet Satan. In
Oh
this
wow, this is
beautiful-
gonna be at least a double.
this beautiful
Sorry,
Neon City.
it's down for a double, maybe more. Yes, just a double. Yes. I'm laughing a lot because I think what you said is funny, but even though like it's slightly esoteric, and even if you understand the reference, it's also absurd. Like, and that's part of why I like it, is because yeah, the old abyss.
I mean, we all know that James Cameron is trying to like give us his Satanist agenda. It started with the abyss, right?
Yeah.
Showing us about Satan's underwater kingdom.
Yes.
And how you can get there.
Yes.
And then, it ended up with Avatar, where it's like, why don't you just give up this body that God made for you and get this cool newer body where
Yeah.
you can have sex with an entire forest? Anything you can plug your ponytail into,
You can fuck.
you can have intimate relations with. It's a beautiful satanic dream that James Cameron is giving us.
It's always funny to me that he's such a big climate activist when he has like made multiple movies that wasted like The Abyss wasted so much water. I'm pretty sure. Like I could be wrong, but because it was I don't know where they filmed it.
Every pixel that he animates, it's 10,000 gallons
No.
minimum.
No, I mean The Abyss was actually like a lot of practical effects. But yes, also true probably. 10,000. That's how they whenever any graphic says rendering, what's actually happening is it's sending the request to this big old water wheel.
It's a big tank of
It's-
water.
yep.
All of
And
the
it
water
drains.
in there is polluted after it.
Yeah, well, it gets-
It's like a nuclear power
It
plant.
gets drained into a volcano, and then the steam powers the rendering of special effects. But then the steam is polluted from the pixels.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called nuclear pixelization.
Yes.
It's the industry standard.
Yeah. How do you think Pixar got its name?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
yep.
the two biggest polluters of the 90s, Exxon Valdez and Pixar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone talks about when the Exxon Valdez fucking crashed, but no one ever talks about when the Pixar. I can't even think of anything good. I'm sorry.
No one talks about the damage that Toy Story did to the Pacific Northwest fishing ground.
Yes. Yes. That's when
Right.
farm salmon became more popular, was because of Toy Story.
There was a period of time when if you caught a fish in that area, there was like a 1 in 3 chance it would be one of those plastic alien guys.
Yeah, and they'd be like, the claw, because they loved the claw, and the fishing lures are very similar to the claw. And so they would gravitate towards the fishing lures. And yeah,
And all the fishermen who tried to speak up about this, they were thrown in prison.
they were.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
because maritime law is harsh. There's a reason why maritime law is different than land law. It's fucking, once you get 10 miles out, anything goes. And so, which is like, they have the right to say anything, but also companies have the right to murder them after they say it, and once they're in international waters.
This is what Titanic was about.
Yes.
So, James Cameron, a lot of people don't know that, but he made that movie mostly so he could build that boat so it could be a prison at sea.
Yeah.
And it's still out there, floating around.
Yeah.
James Cameron presents Titanic.
Yeah. I didn't
the
know
iceberg
that.
stuff, they didn't really do that. That was more pollution. But they built that boat.
Did they? I didn't know.
And there's like 5,000 cells on there.
See, this is why I like
Prison
talking to you,
cells.
is because you know history. See, I'm a film guy. See, you're the history guy, and although you have a film degree too. I always forget you have a
but
film
this is
degree.
the intersection of film and history.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
film.
It's good.
Yeah.
So, how you liking the... Oh, 6-6-6 right now. 6th inning, 66th pitch. All right, now it's 67. But it had the sign of the beast going for a second there.
Yeah, for a second, James Cameron was happy.
Yeah.
The center fielder.
And Tyler Chatwood's looking good, by the way. He's 2 outs through the 6th inning with only 67 pitches, so that's pretty good. I'm liking it. Oh, is that going to drop? We'll see. Oh, it does. He could have dove for that. Come on, Hap, you fucking pussy. Dive for the ball. Help
I
your
will
pitcher.
say, this is just as engaging as real baseball.
Thank you. I can't tell if that's a compliment towards me or a bash on regular baseball or a combination of both. But I'll take it as a compliment.
I mean, well, this game that's set up here,
Yeah.
it's the same as regular baseball.
Okay.
There's really no difference.
That's part of the reason why I did it. And it's funny you say, that's how, like, when I was watching Westworld, I was like, I can't tell if this makes me believe that robots deserve more, like... It was one of those things where I was like, should I feel like robots deserve more rights or humans deserve less? Like, or like, you know what I mean? Like, is this making me put up more on a pedestal things that, like, does this make me think humans are worthless, or does this make me think things that aren't humans are worth more? And I couldn't figure it out. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 So, because I feel like we're just computers,
can't
we're
tell
largely
if this
computers
is-
with wires.
I don't know if this is more or less crazy than what's happening in wrestling right now.
Where are they just having like just
They're
performing
just doing
to?
wrestling
Attention, please.
with no audience.
I was gonna say, can you?
Completely insane.
I was gonna say, can you imagine doing stand up with no audience? But we've done that before. We've done that plenty of times.
Yeah, instead they've got like announcers and they're cutting promos and there's no audience.
Like, do they?
The center fielder.
WrestleMania is this weekend.
Yeah. So do they do things in ring at all? Like, do they get on the mic and are like, so they just get rid of being like,
They're
I'll.
just pretending there's no audience, or that there is an audience.
Okay. So but like so much of
crazy.
promos is like, can I hear so much is like crowd interaction where like I would find it very hard to have motivation to like get like, I don't know, pretending. I don't know.
You should watch like one of the recent episodes of Raw. They're on Hulu.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, they're just filming it with no audience. It's fucking crazy.
It is banana. I told.
Can I swear?
Yeah, that's fine. I swear a lot in this, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
it's
know if
crazy.
this was
No, it's fine. I was talking to my dad. It's so funny because my dad still is like, he's kind of admitting now that this is insane, this whole thing. But I was like, we were talking and he was like, well, it's just kind of an inconvenience right now. And I was like, my dad's 65. I said, has anything like this ever happened in your entire life? And he's like, well, no. And I was like, well, then that's fucking crazy then. And he was like, it's funny because people will be like, well, it's not like it was during the Great Depression yet, or like during, World War. I was just like, when you're best, like to try and be like, well, it's not like how it was that one time 90 years ago, is like your best excuse to say things aren't insane right now. Things are insane. Like,
They just canceled Wimbledon, and it's
Yeah.
like the first time since World War II.
yes, and they pushed the Olympics back a year. The Olympics are now in 2021
Well, that
now.
was smart because they
Yes.
wanted to make sure Akira wouldn't happen.
Yes, which is funny because didn't they have for the Olympic? By the way, a home run, I think by Ian Happ, which is great. Cubs are growing up. But weren't the mascots for the Olympics a bunch of anime characters? It was like collectively like all the anime.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, it's like no one sat down and thought, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have the Olympics that are in this movie about the world ending.
But by the way, I still haven't watched all of Akira. I've watched like most of it, but I did
it's a
I
good
did read the
movie.
synopsis. Yeah, it's also very, like I said, it starts to make more sense, but at the same time, I was like, I'll watch this sort of. And then even when I was paying a lot of attention, I was like, oh, this is still confusing. Like early on, it's very confusing. It's very confusing, even when you were paying attention.
It doesn't get really that much less confusing.
Yeah. When there's just the weird zombie baby, I was like, why are there zombie old they're like kids, but they're old and they look like zombies at the same time. They look like all three of those things.
Explain that.
Yeah, sort of, right? They're all kind of the other Akira type folk. They're all like telekinetic.
Yeah, they're all part of the same experiment, but they're like giving them hormones so they won't age.
Okay. Fair.
I don't know. It has something to do with their powers.
Just something to do with the powers? Ooh. Very interesting. Something to do with their powers.
I don't know. If I cared that much, I'd read the comic again, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's crazy because I looked it up and it was like that was a big deal where because the budget was huge for that.
Yeah, like in that opening scene when they're like driving those motorcycles.
Yeah.
Like through the city.
Yeah.
All of that is hand painted.
Okay. Yeah. And
like all of like the little windows in the buildings and stuff. Somebody painted all of that.
Yeah. Well, and it was and like I said, the budget was huge, but also like the box office was fucking like I didn't realize how popular is in Japan. Is manga and comic stuff just like that much more popular? Is it like how comics are kind of more popular now in the United States? Like I feel like they had to have in Japan been like so much more popular on the whole than they are in America. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
What it is in Japan. My impression is in Japan, most anime and manga is of the same level of popularity as it is here, which is like there's a bunch of weirdos who are really into it.
Yeah.
And then like a lot of kids like it. But then there's some stuff that's considered like good enough that most people will go see it.
Okay. And this was one of those exceptions because, like I said,
yeah.
They like.
I mean, it happens to be animated, but like it's a really well-made, interesting movie. You know.
Yeah. No, it's very. I'm not gonna say pretentious, but it's definitely like kind of deep and weird. Well, it's definitely confusing and weird. Yeah,
I mean, it's like it's a cyberpunk movie, right? It's like influenced by Blade Runner and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and it's what's funny is that
it's trying to be the same level of like.
I can't remember what VHS it was, but it's weird because there were certain VHSs that if you liked a certain movie, you ended up seeing a trailer for a thing a bunch of times. And Akira was one on one of the videos that I had. I can't remember what movie it was, but I remember. Even after watching the trailer, I remember just being like, I have no idea what this movie is about. But I remember them being like, reviews are in, critics say, Akira makes Blade Runner look like child's play, and stuff like that. Like, and I was just like, and it would show them on like the train tunnels on, all I remember was there was like them riding motorcycles in train tunnels. And that's like all I took from what was going on in the trailer for Akira.
I mean, that's like most of the movie.
Yeah,
right?
it's largely. Also, it has more.
It's mostly a movie about riding motorcycles.
Yes, against a group of other motorcyclists called the Clowns. But there is funny stuff. I think a lot of, and same thing with a lot of like even like, just keeping with all Japanese films and like Kurosawa doesn't get. Oh boy, that's gonna be a home run. Well, at least the Cubs are still up by 1. Polanco hits a home run deep and gone. Almost onto, I forget if it's Waveland or Sheffield, but it was fucking way gone. Is that the humor, people don't realize that there's a lot more humor in those movies at times, especially Kurosawa. Kurosawa has some really funny stuff in a lot of his movies, and I feel like people don't recognize that.
Yeah.
By the way, Peter, how far are you into Mad Men?
Oh, I finished it.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I feel like, and I understand your I don't know if you actually liked it or if you actually hated it, but I will say there are more.
Things I liked and things I hated.
I will say there's more. The writing has a lot of nuance to it, like because if you're treating it like it's a satire and a comedy, like there's a lot of things that are said that are very funny and very like commentary on like the time and just commercialism and consumerism and the whole thing in general. And like I said, I can't tell if the whole like the fact that they keep getting like once after the third season, like it keeps being like this, like one of the plot, like the main plot point of like each season is like a company eating that company, like keeps being a big plot point. And I was like, is that bad writing or is it just a thing about commercialism where it's just like companies keep eating themselves and eating each other, and you know, just to stop competition? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck.
I thought the Don Draper character was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, here's the weird thing. Oh god, it's a tie game now. Kevin Kramer just in a home run. The one thing that's weird to me about Draper is I'm like, when did he become knowledgeable of everything? Like, he lived on a farm in like a whorehouse and then was in the army and got blown up. Like, how does... Like, yeah, where did he get this access to, like, he seems like he's very knowledgeable about everything. But it's like, he grew up in a whorehouse on a farm that looked like it didn't have anything.
They could have had, like, a scene where he, like, goes to the library.
Yeah, or like when he
he's a kid.
or when he gets back from the war, he like watches a television commercial and he's like, I like this, like, or something. Or something being like, I like this, and also I'm going to read books because he he knows a lot. Like, he's an extremely well-read person, and I'm like, when did this happen? Like, when did this happen?
The only nod they give to that is talking about like him with the bum, the hobo, in that flashback, and the bum like essentially tells him everything is like bullshit.
Yeah.
And like it's all about how you present yourself.
Yeah, and he tells him that
explains Don Draper.
Yeah, because one of my
favorite character of Don Draper isn't real.
Yes, and one of my favorite scenes to complement what you're saying. You know how he's like when they're in the elevator and the guys say something really lewd in front of the lady, and then he's like, take your hat off to the guy in the elevator, and the guy's like, what? And he like takes his hat off for him, and like that is the perfect symbol of what he is, because in public he is like the perfect gentleman who's like, there's a way you should treat people and that's nice and blah blah blah, and like you're being ridiculous. But in real life and regular and like his own personal life, he just treats everyone like garbage. Like I think with Betty, because here's the thing. I think with Betty, I think everyone thought Betty was such a asshole idiot bitch that they like were okay with him being a cheater on her. But then when he marries Megan, Megan's like a perfect human being. Like, she cares about people. She's smart. She's gorgeous. She's nice. She's able to do things and can act, and she can work in the business. She's a good human being. Yet he still cheats on her and they get divorced. That's why I feel like with Betty, you were just like, yeah, I don't blame him. She's a child, like, as far as her emotions go. And she's not very likable. She's just a good-looking person. But with Megan, it's like, oh, this is a great human being who's probably the most, of all the characters in the show, she's probably the most, like, good, genuine human being in the whole show. And she still gets treated badly.
But I think it was an accident. I think he meant to marry, because he didn't know her that well.
No, it was very much a jumping into it thing. He asked her to marry him.
He thought he was getting the perfect, like...
oh, you mean like, Betty?
Compliment to the fake person he made.
Okay. Yeah. No, but also he was a nobody, though, too, when he met Betty. I think, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he was.
I think he
or
was,
else young.
He just started in advertising because she was a model.
Yeah. And he got her the coat or whatever. I do, yeah. I don't know. I like that episode too, where she tries to model again, and I don't know. I have watched. That's the one of the few shows. Don't get me wrong. There are episodes or even arcs that I completely will skip over because I don't like. But I really enjoy that show. And also, one of my favorite things is when Cooper comes in, when it's somebody's like baby shower, and he walks in and he goes, "I just wanted to say happy birthday," and then he walks out the door because he just doesn't know what's going on. That's one of my favorite things. That and when when Pete Campbell is at the boarding school and they're like talking about the Revolutionary War, how their family has beef from the Revolutionary War, and Campbell's like, where he's all like, "You killed our family," and he's like, "The king ordered it." Like, that's such the most Pete Campbell thing to say is, "The king ordered it." Like, I don't know. You got me rambling on Mad Men.
I did. I enjoyed the ending, but I fear a lot of people didn't understand how funny it was.
Yeah, how he like went to a thing for enlightenment and turned it into a fucking Coca-Cola commercial.
Well, it's Esalen, right? It's the Esalen Institute.
Is that what it was? Is that a real place? I didn't even know. What is the significance?
They're referencing a real place.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And the Esalen Institute is like the birth of the New Age movement. But it's also considered like the heart of its like commercialization.
Oh, that adds a whole nother level to it that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, so really when I watched it, my interpretation was Don Draper finally drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
He finally found an ad that worked on him.
He was finally sold. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And it's funny because it's somewhat it's a little ambiguous. Because I remember the first time watching it and be like, what?
I didn't see any indication that he went back to advertising and made that Coke ad.
No.
I just saw the Coke ad.
Exactly. And that's why it's somewhat ambiguous. But I think that's what you're supposed to infer.
The Coke ad's famous.
Yes.
Yes. The Coke ad is famous as sort of trying to sell the counterculture back to itself.
Yes. For sure. And also starting to be like...
So I kind of saw...
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I guess I saw it as like Don Draper actually bought into it.
Sure. That's fair.
But it's just Coca-Cola.
Yes. It's just sugar water.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which is funny. I found that funny. I watched the last episode and laughed.
Okay, good.
And then I was like, oh wait, nobody like I watched it and then I read some reviews of it and I was like, oh wait, these reviewers are not getting out of this what I got out of it.
Yeah. No, it's and also I do think it's funny that because Brett Gelman's in that. Is he in the last episode or the second to last episode? Because he's at that retreat.
I think it's the last episode's long, so I think it's the whole thing is there.
I just like Brett Gelman coming into things out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Ooh, Chris Bryant hits it down into right field. Now there's runners on first and second. Tie ball game with 2 men on now, nobody out. Sorry, I need to do this more often, Peter. I need to talk about the game a little. But now Anthony Rizzo's up with a runner on first and second. Yes, those darn Pirates.
These Pirates. I think that it's very likely that after this is all over, they're going to take their winnings and bury them at Oak Island.
Yes, and come back for them at a later date. Once it's...
Or they'll just let some Americans waste millions of dollars trying to dig them.
Yes. Burying your treasure, the original savings account.
Well, we're going to have to go back to that now that we're in the Great Depression again.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's funny because
gold is now the best investment.
Yes. And cryptocurrency were private cryptocurrencies. Did you see McAfee is like walking back on Bitcoin because
I haven't looked at Bitcoin since it collapsed. Has it gone back up?
I'm not sure, but McAfee basically said that Bitcoin was like the Model T, where it's like not the future. He's just like it was.
Such an asshole.
Yes, but he's kind of a genius though too.
I guess. I mean, he's a genius at paying women to shit in his mouth.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. You not watch the documentary?
I haven't. There's a McAfee documentary?
Oh yeah, it's all about how he killed that guy.
Which was because the guy killed his
But
dogs,
they interview
right?
all these women about. Yeah, well, they interview all these women about his sexual proclivities.
Yeah, and it's him
And,
like in shit in the mouth.
Yeah, he's into scat.
So is I heard Hitler was into scat. A copophiliac, is that what it's called? It's something like
that's
that.
not real.
That's not real. That was just.
That was spread by British intelligence.
It's funny to me that you would need. It's funny to me that you would need to make up stories about
British
Hitler.
intelligence sold. Yeah, British intelligence made up all kinds of stories about Hitler to make it seem like he was some sort of clownish buffoon. And lots of people think they're true today.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing about how he only had one ball, yeah, that's one of them. Like, there's no proof for any of this stuff. It's just
Okay.
crazy stories British intelligence made up.
Okay. But that's funny to me.
Which is fine. I'm down with you making up crazy stories about Hitler.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just funny to me that you would need to, like, add anything to what he was. Like, I don't know. I guess at the time, sure.
Well, I mean, he was winning the war.
Sure. Yeah, he would have. He just was dumb. He just got dumb. There was no reason for him to start attacking Russia.
Well, you know, the thing about attacking Russia is it's right there, and it's so big, and it just looks so fun to attack.
It's like a giant steak, right? It's like a giant steak. You're like, I could eat this steak. But you don't realize how big the steak is.
Russia is an eating contest that you win a t-shirt if you beat it. And everyone with an army is like, I can defeat Russia.
And then you get halfway through the steak, and then winter comes, and you're like, oh shit. Yeah.
Oh, my stomach feels bad. Why did I eat so much Russia? And then Russia's like, fuck you, our people mean nothing to us.
Yep. I heard that, I don't know if it was Leningrad or Stalingrad, but they literally, like, had more guns than people. So, like, you would line up behind the person with the gun, and when they got shot and killed, you picked up the gun of the dead person and took their position.
Yep.
Is that a real thing?
Also, those are the same battle.
Oh, Leningrad and Stalingrad are the
was
same thing?
renamed Stalingrad.
Okay. No, I said
Yeah.
Stalingrad.
The city
Stalingrad and
was
Leningrad are the
renamed
same?
by Stalin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel both smart and dumb because I was double right, but also didn't know that I was being redundant.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah, it's fine.
Communists love renaming things.
That's fair. You know what's weird is that in a lot of like
I mean,
a lot of Soviet satellite countries have like big monuments to Reagan.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
Georgia
that seems right.
and Georgia and
He
Ukraine.
was such a good actor, you know.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Old.
And I know that like Kazakhstan really appreciates the work he did with the Actors Guild.
Yeah, that's what's
I
crazy.
know that's
He was
that's
the
been considered
he was
a
the
big-
head of the Screen Actors Guild.
yeah.
Yeah, like he was the head of the Screen Actors Guild when the union negotiated like residuals for actors. I'm pretty sure he was like the head of the Screen Actors Guild when they negotiated that
Now batting.
for like reruns
Oh,
and
so
shit.
like back in Ulysses S. Grant times.
Yes. Yes, back in the Union. No, but that's what's crazy about him being like this figure that is like very anti-union. Was like he was the head of a union that got like residuals for actors like people don't realize that's so much money that's been given to actors that used to not. Supposedly, that was one of the first times that before that was like worked out was Gilligan's Island. There was one of the actors from Gilligan's Island's husband or wife was an agent, and they were like, they got it put into their contract that if there was reruns of it, that they would get residuals. And so there was one person from Gilligan's Island, because I don't know if you remember when you were little, but when I was little, Gilligan's Island played a bunch of times per day. And so there's one of the actors.
Unlike Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it would be on TB. I think it was on TBS once or twice a day. It might have been on Nickelodeon, but when I was probably 7 or 8 until I was probably 13 or 14, it played a couple times a day. And one of those actors got residuals, so like literally got rich off of reruns, and I don't think any of the other actors did. I could be wrong, but
I mean, if residuals have done one thing to help our society, and that's that no one has to see David Schwimmer anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
He has so much money, and all he has to do now is play Robert Kardashian on American Crime Story.
Yeah. Well, he was directing a lot for a while. He did 2 or 3 films, I think.
Yeah, but have you seen American Crime Story?
I haven't. I heard it's very good. Is it very good?
The second season's very, very good. The one about
OJ?
Versace.
Oh, about
I would very much recommend that season.
about which? About who?
The O.J. Simpson season.
Yeah, I heard that was good.
About Gianni Versace.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I heard they're both really
the
good.
assassination of Gianni Versace.
Yes, I'm familiar.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot. The cinematography's great. It's like crazy neon pastel colors all the time. It's great. I really, really enjoyed it.
I can get
But
behind
the
that.
O.J. season features David Schwimmer calling O.J. Simpson juice at least 10 times an episode.
That's fantastic. I'm all for that. Hey there, Juice. Does he still talk like David Schwimmer, or does he do like an accent? Does he do an Armenian American accent?
I mean, it's not a good Robert Kardashian impression. It's basically just David Schwimmer.
Wow. Okay, I need to maybe check it out. Is who's OJ? Is it
It's
Cuba?
crazy.
Is it Cuba?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Who plays his friend that was in
I don't remember. I haven't watched this since it came out.
You know who I am, damn it, that guy. You know who I am, damn it. Oh man.
Also, John Travolta was in it, and it has the craziest eyebrows.
Yeah, he's Judge Ono, right? Or Judge whatever,
One
right?
of the judges.
Yeah.
Probably not Ono, because he's Japanese.
Yeah, let's pretend like Hollywood would care about that, I guess. That's like strike 3. Double play, strikeout, throw out to end the top of the 8th inning. Nicely done. Have you watched Devs?
I mean, both teams have 3 points.
Yes, 3 points.
I mean,
You called them
it's
points.
looking
Yes.
great for everybody.
Have you watched Devs? It's funny you were talking about the race thing.
Points?
Yes, you can call them points, but they're runs.
Yeah, I do like Devs.
Gerald said something which I didn't notice, and it's such a white person thing, where Gerald was like, it's funny they're saying that girl, he's like, what a white casting of that girl who they say is Chinese. And I was like, is she not? Is she not? And he was like, no. She's like maybe half Japanese and something else. And I was like, I didn't know, which is such a white person to be like, well, she looked Chinese enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, what a white person thing.
Is she supposed to be full Chinese?
I think she's supposed to be full Chinese.
All I know is we've seen her dad.
Have we seen? Okay. I also think she's a robot, by the way.
I don't think anyone's a robot.
I think she's a robot. Literally in that scene where they're doing like square roots, and literally the line of dialogue is the girl goes, "You're a machine." I think that's not coincidental.
But everyone's a robot on Devs because no one has free will, right?
Sure, but she's like a robot, like not just a human. Like she's a robot.
So, What's she doing then? Did someone make a robot?
China.
Interfere with
She's
their
a
program?
Chinese. She's a Chinese robot. Like
I don't know if she was a robot.
they made her. They made it good. They made her. She's a real good robot. I mean, it's not out of if they can simulate Jesus Christ on the cross talking. I think that we can. It's not of the realm of conception to think that
Yeah, we
they can make
all
a good robot.
stimulate Jesus on the cross.
Yes. Did you say stimulate? Like you just
That's
leave.
what you said.
Yeah, I said simulate. You said stimulate. Your mind went where it went. But now it's funny. You're like, no, Jesus, it's okay. You just keep your hands right there. Oh wait, you can't move them? Okay, but yeah, still, you just keep your hands right there. Let me do all the work. Ooh.
My favorite Jesus joke from Catholic school. You mind if I tell this?
No, go for it.
It's gonna be simultaneous. It's gonna be good, but it's not very funny.
Okay.
So Jesus is on the. This is a joke that I've only encountered with people who went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
So Jesus is on the cross.
I almost think I know it, but go ahead.
And Saint Peter is down there, and which obviously this already is not following the Bible, but Jesus says, "Peter, my son, come closer." And Saint Peter comes closer, and the Roman guards, they cut his legs off. And so Saint Peter doesn't have any legs.
Yeah.
And then Jesus says, "Peter, my son, come closer." And Saint Peter's crawling towards the cross. The Roman guards cut his arms off. And Jesus says, "Peter, my son, come closer." And St. Peter's like using his chin to pull himself forward, closer to Jesus.
Yeah.
And then Jesus says, "Hey Pete, I can see your house from here."
Yeah, that's not very funny.
It's not funny at all.
No, it's an anti joke.
And yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's yeah. Oh.
It's a funny joke if you're 12 in Catholic school.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you're 12, any joke where limbs are getting pulled off is funny, I guess. I don't know. Hey, how do you feel about?
I mean, that's not where the humor is, though, right?
What? I can see your house from here. I don't know where the humor is in that one. That's what it is. Oh, from the cross. From the cross. Okay.
It's funny because he's up on the cross.
Sorry, I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. That's funny though too. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Okay. That's pretty okay. How do you feel about not being able to do comedy the last 2 or 3 weeks?
It's like,
isn't it kind of great?
the thing is, it's like, I mean, it's, I don't know, like, I feel like this is a time when, like, doing comedy would be really good.
Sure.
Right? If that was, like, my one outlet where I could go one place a week and do something.
Yeah. But also, when people are doing
Right?
virtual
I feel like
mics, I'm
comedy
just
would
like,
be a great
bleh.
thing to be able to do.
Yeah. But would you want to do a virtual mic if we did a virtual mic? Or would you just find that fucking
They're
masturbatory?
so weird, though, right?
It is, because you don't have an audience.
I mean, this... Yeah.
Or I mean, I guess theoretically you could do that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. It seemed very masturbatory, because it would just be like wanting to talk and thinking people might be listening. Like, also I did do a joke.
Because no one's gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, considering how much people don't listen when they're already really there, like, and supposed to be listening, and you can hear them not listening. Imagine how much worse it is when they can't hear you not listening.
I managed to get like 4 people to a show I did on my actual birthday.
Yeah, yeah,
So, no one's gonna listen to me do a mic virtually.
yeah. Although the only reason they might is people are so bored. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing the business baseball thing, is because people are so people are so just like, there's no sports, there's no anything. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll give anything a shot. Like, it's kind of fun. everyone's just kind of open to whatever. Like, I don't know. It's fun. We'll see what happens. But
one of my favorite podcasts is taken to doing live commentary on the Star Wars prequels, which is pretty great.
yeah, that is pretty great. I mean, I'm sure I would enjoy it more than watching the prequels without any commentary.
Yeah, I mean, they decided that, like, the true hero of the Phantom Menace is Watto.
Is he the one that sells Anakin?
So, if that's...
Is he the one with the wings that sells Anakin?
Yeah,
Okay.
He's the Jewish slave
Yes.
owner. Yeah.
Yes.
He's that Jewish fly guy.
He's like, oh, God, the guy that talks like this. It's always funny in the Star Wars
He's a child
universe.
slave,
Yes.
but seems to treat him okay. Well,
Yeah. I mean, as far as child slavery goes, you could do worse, right? Worse you could do with the child
He
slave.
gets to go home. His mom doesn't seem to have a job.
No, she's a slave, right? Isn't she a slave?
Well, she's a slave, but what does she do? She sits at home.
Is that...
And he's a slave, but he's a slave child with a pod racer.
Oh, I know you're not meaning to, but you sound like the Republican revealing, like, she's a slave, but what does she even do? What does she do for a roof over her head? Is she even thankful for?
I'm more just trying to figure out how slavery works.
I know. I know you, Peter, so I know you wouldn't be like, she doesn't deserve that. Like, what does she even do as a slave to deserve that roof over her
They
head?
deserve to live in that house.
Attention, please.
What are you doing?
They should be living in the dunes of Tatooine.
It's like when people are
Probably
mad.
moisture farmers, who knows?
Yeah. They're just, hey man, we're all just trying to get that blue milk, you know? We're all just trying to get that. Is it blue milk or green milk? I can
Yeah.
never remember.
Sipping that sweet, sweet blue milk.
Sipping that sweet blue milk, baby. Oof.
I mean, do you think that Luke liked the blue milk or the green milk better?
Was there green milk too? I can't remember. I just thought it was. I couldn't remember. I think Luke has just had it all.
It's,
Oh, you mean when he sucks the fucking tits of the fucking giant
Yeah.
weird sea cow things? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I like how and don't get me wrong, the Last Jedi was good, but I like how Rian Johnson's whole thing was like, here's what I think is really stupid about Star Wars. Like, that's mostly what it was him being like, you know what I think is stupid about Star Wars? All these things. And then J.J. Abrams came back and was like, I'm not going to address all the things that were said that were dumb about Star Wars. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, I like Rise of Skywalker as like a fun movie.
It
to
was
watch,
fine.
But it's not a good movie.
Okay. It was fine. I wasn't as mad as everyone else was, and like, especially like
I'm not mad either.
J.J. Abrams.
I don't need a Star Wars movie to be like a groundbreaking piece of art.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. I like watching it, but it's not a good movie.
It was fine. Also, J.J. Abrams could have done so much worse. Like, my expectations for what J.J. Abrams was gonna do for the third one were very low. I also go because, and I don't know if I've told you this before, but like, Star Wars, when I go see the Star Wars movies, they genuinely spark a part of my brain that I didn't, like when I saw the first one, what was the Force Awakens, I literally started laughing when the like when the logo came up. A part of my brain that I forgot existed came to me.
It wasn't there.
For Force Awakens.
There's no 20th Century Fox on Force Awakens.
No, I'm saying for the Star Wars logo, just the Star Wars logo when the Star Wars theme comes on. I know that the way I'm singing it sounds similar to the 20th Century Fox, but I was trying to do Star Wars. But like literally, a part of my brain that like I was just purely happy for 5 to 10 seconds and was laughing hysterically, and like it like made me feel so good. And then when Last Jedi came out, I was like I was aware of it, and so I was like, is it gonna happen again? And it not to the extent because I was like anticipating it, but it still happened, and it still happened for Rise of Skywalker, and I can't put a price on that feeling that I don't get to feel except once every 2 or 3 years. Like, it's fine. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, I will say that the thing Disney did for me is make me care about Star Wars again, which I hadn't since Attack of the Clones came out.
Yeah, let's not lie. Did we really think George Lucas?
Written it off.
Did we really think George Lucas was gonna make better? You tell me what George Lucas was gonna do with the last 3 Star Wars movies, and guess what? I'm guessing that I would prefer the ones Disney made. George Lucas is a great idea person.
I mean, at this point, the movies aren't even my favorite thing in Star Wars.
Oh no, that's fair. Clone Wars is really good. A lot of Clone Wars. Mandalorian's.
So's the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian's good. I think. Here's the thing. I think Mandalorian could be a lot better. I think Mandalorian could be a lot better. I think Mandalorian was just like, if it didn't have the branding of Star Wars, it would just be considered like an okay. I know that's a weird thing to say because how can you even claim what it would or wouldn't be without it being Star Wars? Because it's, but still, I'm excited for season 2.
I think it didn't do a whole lot, but it didn't need to.
Yeah.
But the things that it did do that were important were really great.
Yeah.
Like, the way that it really, like, hinged on, like, Mandalorian culture, really, really great.
Yeah.
Bringing the Darksaber in at the end, really, really
yes.
great.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yes. No, that's okay. I love the
way that when I watched the last episode, I realized that the Mandalorian is Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, sure. That he might be the...
Anyone who happens to listen to this, if you haven't figured it out by now, the Mandalorian
is
not
Baby Yoda.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Anthony Rizzo hitting the ball opposite field. It is a walk-off home run for Anthony Rizzo. I'm sorry, Peter, this is really exciting because it's the bottom of the 9th inning. Anthony Rizzo hits a walk-off home run to win the game. This was making sure that we wouldn't go to extra innings, Peter. Can you imagine? We didn't even talk about the Merrimack and the Monitor. Peter and I are going to make a Merrimack and the Monitor show here, maybe. Anthony Rizzo with a walk-off home run. The Cubs are 5-0. Oh my goodness, when was the last time?
Done, so.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry,
This
continue.
is almost done, and then once the libraries reopen, we can do some research.
Hell yeah.
I think it would be funny if we did enough research where we knew the names of the
Of
people
real
on the ships.
lieutenants and stuff. Yeah, I can't wait for like the great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter to be like, how dare you portray the lieutenant, the second in command.
Yeah, we're gonna get in trouble for like not being historically accurate on a sitcom.
Yeah, with like a laugh track.
person.
Oh my god, I can't wait. This is gonna be great. Victor Caratini, even though Anthony Rizzo hit a walk-off home run, Victor Caratini gets player of the game. I'm fine with that because he's who I subbed in for Wilson Contreras. Victor's saying, hey man, Spencer put me in and I decided to fucking produce. And he did, with a home run right here. Oh, look at that baseball card snapshot. Right there. Here comes the boom. Here comes, boom goes the dynamite. Boom goes the dynamite.
I mean, here's a good preview of some of the hijinks that we could get into on this show.
Yeah, let's talk about how there's cattle on board on the Merrimack and Monitor.
Yeah, there's cattle on board these ships. If you can imagine a submarine with cattle that's steam powered.
Well, it wasn't a submarine, right? It was like half and half. Like
everyone's fainting because it's a steam powered submarine and there's a fucking coal fire in the submarine.
Accurate. Peter.
It is accurate. I read.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like you like, or the fact that like the tube, like they had a tube. You know, like on a playground when you yell into a tube and it like goes to the other end of the playground. They had one of those and somehow it got broken. Which how does a tube that you yell into get broken? I don't know, but
Even the historian who wrote the book I read was like
confused.
Somehow during the battle, the communication tube malfunctioned. I don't know how, considering it was only a tube.
Yeah. I think a gerbil got stuck in there or something. I don't know.
I honestly didn't think the idea was as funny as I do now before I did some research.
Yeah, and it's more absurd than you realize.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was funny, but it turns out reality is way funnier than anything I could have imagined.
Well, Peter, by the way, is a distant relative of Mark Twain, right? How are you related to Mark Twain? Do you remember? Do you know?
He's like a fifth or sixth cousin or something.
Okay. But there's that Twain quote.
He was like a great-grandfather's first cousin.
Okay. But there's that Mark Twain quote where he's like, the problem with fiction is that it needs to seem like it could happen. Reality doesn't have to have that. Yeah, which is very true because there's so many times I had a fiction writing class where I wrote a thing that really happened to me and I like very much detailed it exactly how it happened. And someone was like, I don't find this like it, like they were less like, I don't believe that something like this could happen. And I was like, well, it really did. So I'm sorry you don't believe it.
That's the problem I have on stage sometimes is some of my stories that I tell.
Yeah, when you talk about like freelining from freelining heroin with Steel Reserve, like that sounds so absurd, but I know it really happened probably. But the carbonate, how do you shoot heroin with carbonation? Like, wouldn't that like be horrible?
I don't know. I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah. Unless maybe when you like, if you light it up, maybe it gets rid of the carbonation with the heat. I don't know. Maybe.
I guess, but I mean,
I don't think it would.
Then he's just mainlining sugar?
Which we've all been there. We've all been there.
Heroin sugar.
Mm-hmm. This game has been brought to you by Heroin Sugar. Guys, give it up for Peter who joined us. Peter, thank you for joining us. Victor Caratini, the player of the game, 2 for 4, a home run, an RBI. He's got his hands on his hips. When I dip, you dip, we dip. The win goes to Kyle Ryan. The loss goes to Keone Keela. I don't know if that's his name. Peter, thank you very much for joining us.
Do these guys not have like Fortnite dances when they win?
Not that, I mean, maybe. I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know if he's being filmed right now. I feel very voyeuristic. I feel like he has a camera on him. He doesn't know. He doesn't know why he's doing what he's doing. But, Peter, thank you for joining us. Well, hopefully in the next couple days we'll have this up. We'll hope to, I mean, I hope that I hope that real baseball comes back by the end of May. They were talking about like the end of May is when the earliest it's going to come back. So I might be doing this for 2 months.
Jesus.
I know.
Christ.
I know.
We're all gonna lose our minds.
Yeah.
The first mic that we get back, like no one's gonna be funny.
But also, I think everyone will laugh at everything. I think everyone would just be so happy if we ever get back to normality.
I'm gonna be smoking the Cure before everyone else.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't talk about Lucky Strikes. Lucky Strike cigarettes is gonna maybe come up with a cure for Corona,
We're gonna follow that story and we'll have an update for you next time.
Yeah. Yes.
Next time I'm on.
Yes, Peter, thank you very much for joining us.
All right,
we'll talk to you later, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
Take care. Bye. That was Peter. Pizza bagels is what I call him. You guys. Sorry, Peter and I talk a lot. But like I said, you can always mute. You can always mute and just listen to if you really want to. Like I said, Victor Caratini, who I subbed in for Wilson Contreras because he's only halfway on the meter for his... Came up big. 4-3. The Cubs are 5-0. Holy bejeez Louise, right? Oh boy. Whoops. That's the game. I'm going to stop the broadcast. Hold on. Whoop. Okay. Exit the post game. I've had to pee so bad. And I'm going to in a second here. I'm going to stop broadcasting as soon as we get to the regular screen. Oh, God, I can't clean this shirt yet either. They're 5-0. I can't. I mean, it's good. I'm happy. I'm going to stop broadcast. Broadcast paused. And whoop. Stop broadcasting. Boom. 5-0, guys. Thank you very much for coming. We hope to see you soon. Have a good night and a pleasant tomorrow. I love you. What? Oh, you don't have to say it back. It's fine. Bye.